Hey guys, Tanya Cardwell here from Pavlov Dog Training. I want to fill you guys in on the 4 requirements for how to have an effective correction, an effective punisher. 99% of all the information on YouTube, the web, is all about how to reinforce the good stuff, reward the good stuff, but a little, like 1%, is about how to effectively give a punisher a consequence. So here's part of that 1%. Now, there are 4 requirements for you to give an effective punisher. The first one is it must be intolerable to your dog. So it needs to be a consequence that your dog is actively avoiding. Let's just say that you have a dog who's jumping on house guests. He's really exuberant and excited to see them. And let's just say you bust out a little squirt gun, super soaker, and you're like, pew, 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 pew. And you do that. And you do that a few times and you're not seeing a decrease in the behavior. Or maybe you even have a lab or a water dog and he's like, water, I love water, bring it on, right? Give me a water bed. So in order for it to work, your dog has got to not like it. That's why we call it intolerable. The other thing is it needs to be inevitable, meaning when your dog does a behavior and you say no, you've got to follow the no with a consequence. No in and of itself is not a punisher. It's not, the no is sterile. I mean, the no, you could say banana, you could say anything. You could like blow your nose and that could, right? It could be anything. What makes the no valuable is that it has to follow a consequence. So when you say no, it's not a warning, it's actually a predictor of a oh my gosh, I saw, oh no, I'm busted. Okay, here's my consequence. Super common hiccup is you're gonna say your dog's gonna do something like jump on your house guest, and you're gonna say no, and your dog's gonna start to stop, especially if you've used no a few times with a consequence. Your dog's gonna stop and you're gonna feel tempted to slack on the consequence. I've been there. You're gonna feel tempted. But if you do that, your dog's gonna quickly learn that you call bluff, that the no doesn't have backbone, that the no, you're gonna erode the meaning of the no. So to keep it really valuable, meaningful, the no has to follow, don't slack on the consequence, okay? The other thing is it has to be inescapable. Meaning, if your dog does a behavior, if your dog does something naughty, don't let him just run into the other room away from you, hide under the coffee table, behind the ottoman. You have to follow through with that consequence, okay? So don't, I don't want him to say jump on your counter to hijack a roast turkey, and then he's like, oh, okay, well, if I just hide under the coffee table, then my person won't do it. You've got to be able to hunt him down. Now, people, when you're teaching your dog recall, come, it's really common, let's say you have your dog free and you call him to come, Sadie, come, and she is like, just a minute, Mom, and she runs over here. In that situation, if she's able to run over here without being if she can just run away from you to get the correction, she's escaping the correction. Don't do that. Don't do that. Make sure that any time that she does naughty stuff that you're able to follow through with the consequence. So let's see, am I going to intolerable, inescapable, inevitable? Oh, and the last thing, it needs to be immediately identifiable, meaning your dog needs to know exactly why she's being corrected, right? It can't just be like it randomly comes out of the blue. It's really easy to communicate with a marker, with a no, wrong choice, too bad, wah wah, whatever. Choose your word. No usually comes out of most people's mouth most organically. So you want to just choreograph your word no with the instant that your dog is doing it. So if your dog goes to jump, as she's in jump, no, mark that. Doing so, that actually buys you a few seconds to follow through with a consequence, right? Just like when you use a positive marker to reward the good stuff, your yes, bingo, click on the clicker, that communicates, perfect, that's what I want. And now you're about to get the good stuff. Right? This is the exact opposite, right? Or it's the same thing. No leads to consequence. So I hope that makes sense. If you're struggling to extinguish a behavior, then most likely you're either not doing all four or you're slacking on one or more of those. And if you have any questions, reach out. I'm happy to help. Ciao.